Hey guys, hope all's well. Um, Scripture we're working from this week is Acts chapter 9, verses 1 through 9. A little bit before this, end of chapter 7 is when Stephen is stoned to death. So the character we're looking at here is Saul. It's his conversion from Saul to Paul. And at that time it says Saul was consenting to that murder. There's speculation maybe he was holding the guy's coats when they were being stoned, when they were stoning Stephen. Verse 8, it talks about Saul's kind of havoc that he was causing within the church, and the persecution of the church really revved up at that time, and the church was being scattered, and actually they were witnessing to people as they were fleeing. But we'll pick up here in verse 1, and it starts off with, Then Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked letters from him to the synagogues of Damascus, so that if he found any who were of the way, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. So this guy had enough hatred and zeal in his heart against the Christians that he was going to go out on his own time, probably through his own money, hunt these people down, persecute them, bring them back as prisoners. Verse 3, As he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly a light shone around him from heaven. Then he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, Who are you, Lord? Then the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. It is hard for you to kick against the goads. So he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what do you want me to do? Then the Lord said to him, Arise, go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. Little side note here, I like the Lord's answer. It wasn't like he gave him the 9-step outline for the rest of his life or put everything on a silver platter. Saul asked him what he should do. God gave him the next step. And I think that's just good something for me to put away, maybe for you guys as well. We're asking for the Lord's guidance and direction. Seek that next step. Verse 7, And the men who journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no one. Then Saul arose from the ground, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no one. But they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither ate nor drank. So guys, I don't know, it says his sight's taken away. I don't know if that was a blinding from the light, or if that was a supernatural thing that God just shut his eyes. But I like the part right there right after, and he neither ate nor drank. So he was so rattled. This experience was so riveting to him. And first of all, it knocked him to the ground. Then two, after he comes to, he can't see, doesn't pick up a glass of water, doesn't have a bite to eat. And it's crazy. And so that just kind of puts things into perspective for me. What would I have to go through where I could completely forget about hunger and thirst for 3 days? Just a little side note. What I really wanted to focus on, though, guys, is the two questions that Saul asked here. You look there in verse 4, or verse 5, Saul had been knocked to the ground, and he says, Who are you, Lord? So guys, for you, for me, if we're thinking on that, Lord, who are you? What would the answer be? We know through Scripture, it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the Alpha and the Omega. We know that he created, by his spoken word, he created the whole universe, the earth, the laws that bind it, the galaxies, the billions of stars, simply by his spoken word. And so the same God that has that power, that authority, that's the God that Saul's speaking to. So for me, gosh, I'm praying to the same God. Who are you, Lord? That should change everything. If here's Jesse, here's little Jesse living in Belgium. Here's who I am. I'm 25 years old, married, playing a little ball, doing a little thing. Here's the Lord. His attributes are unending. Even in my little physical mind, I can't comprehend. I can't even begin to comprehend his greatness. I know what I know of his greatness is millions, billions, trillions times greater than me. So that's the God we're praying to. That's the first one. Second one is, Lord, if I know that's who you are, the answer to question 1, the second question is, Lord, what would you have me do? Guys, to be completely honest, most of the time I'm thinking I am solely consumed with myself. I am concerned about what food am I going to eat, where's my next workout going to be, what am I going to do, what makes me feel good, what makes me look good. I'm just in my nature, I am so self-consumed. And then when I'm praying, very often my prayer life is self-consumed. Lord, help me in my pursuit to do this. Help me reach this goal. Help me do A, B, C, and D. And guys, when I'm reading that, I definitely don't want to belittle God. God is so great, but he's still in his mercy. He reaches down and he's interested in even the most delicate little details of my life. But just my prayer should be different. If I realize that who God is, if he opens my eyes, who God is, it should change my second one. It shouldn't be, Lord, help me with these little desires. Help me reach this goal. It should be, Father, change me. You are everything, beginning and end, everything in between. Make my desires your desires. Change me. Help me to see people the way you do. Help me to treat people the way you want me to treat them. And guys, I think the more we think on those two questions, I think he can just teach us more and more and more and more and more. And that's, who are you, Lord? Help me, show me, reveal yourself to me, Father. Help me in my little frail human mind realize who you are, how great you are. 2, what would you have me do? Father, not what I want. Teach me, show me, change me what you want. And guys, that's the challenge for me. It's something that I'm praying that the Lord will show me. I pray that for you guys as well. Who are you, Lord? What would you have me do? Have a good week.